Development patterns are an awesome way to improve your code quality and to also come up with better ideas on how to solve problems. So let's check out 3 of them that are really cool for React developers. Okay, so let's start off with the simplest and also most controversial one because people don't really like classes anymore. But for something like an HTTP client, classes can be really nice, especially if you just export a singleton of it, which is our first pattern, the singleton pattern. It allows you to not just create a new HTTP client in every position where you want to use an HTTP client, you can just create one inside of this file and then import it anywhere you need. So let's take, for example, this app right here, which will do an HTTP client.fetch more stuff request right here. And normally you'd either need to write the fetch anywhere you need it, which can be a bit repetitive, or you'd need to create a new client either inside of this use effect, or you need to create one and store it inside of React state in a use memo or whatever. Both of which aren't really nice. So being just able to import it and then use it is really helpful, especially with the third pattern we're going to get into really shortly. But before we do so, we'll get into the second one, which you're probably using indirectly all the time, because it's a pub sub pattern. So basically you can subscribe to data and react to when it changes. And this is done in basically any state manager that you can use that is globalized. So here we've basically got a little copy of something like a use atom, but with items because I didn't implement the whole functionality, so I renamed it. And how this works is basically we create an item with a value, we have a set of subscribers, so basically callback methods that will run whenever the value changes. We have the option to subscribe and also to unsubscribe using this return value. And then whenever we subscribe, we just pass a function that should get executed when the value changes. In this case, we just set our value inside of this custom hook right here. And then when our hook unmounts, we just unsubscribe. And the way that this works in a state manager is basically you now just return the value and the item.set, because our item is our globalized state. And whenever the item changes, we change this set value so that this value is updated. And now let's take a look at the last pattern, which is probably the coolest of them all, being an event bus. Here you can subscribe again and unsubscribe, or publish as well, which is basically a pub sub pattern. But it also uses a singleton pattern for a reason that we're going to get into shortly. So as you can see, you can subscribe to a key. So basically whenever somebody publishes something on that key, you want your callback to run. So we just create a subscription object, add ourselves as a subscriber, and return an unsubscribe in case somebody wants to unsubscribe again. And then when somebody publishes, we go through the list of all subscribers, and only for those that want to listen to this specific event key, we will now run the callback with that value. And now, because we of course don't want multiple objects of this event listener to exist, because they will have different internal state. So if somebody publishes to another event bus, then the subscriber for the first event bus won't be notified. We just return a singleton pattern. So basically this event bus will only exist at one point in our application. There won't be multiple event buses. It's not possible because this class is not exported. And what this allows us to do is to now go ahead inside of our app.jsx and say, okay, if I click this button, for example, then I want the event bus to publish the click with the value that is now set. And what's really cool about it, we can both react to this inside of a use effect, of course, and then whenever we unmount, we unsub again, or we can actually get this value outside of the React world as well, so that we could react to state updates outside of React as well, making us more framework agnostic, which can be really helpful as well. If we just take another look at our implementation right here and reload and click this button, we can see both the one that doesn't use React and the one that uses React triggered, which is really, really nice. And as you can see, there are a lot of other hooks on this patterns.dev site that I didn't go into as well, which you might want to check out. And what you also might want to check out is this video, where I'll show you in detail how I implemented the use item hook. So if you're interested in learning more about it, then please check it out and have a good day.